Hey everybody, Caleb here. Today I've got this Goya, I think. Anyways, it's a little guitar that I'm gonna restring. You can probably see them strings there. They are crusty. This is just something a friend of mine, the pastor at the church in town, asked me to restring. Just look over, make sure it's looking good. It's something that he said is gonna be for the boys to learn on when they're ready. He's talking about his sons. So yeah, we're gonna try and just set this thing up pretty good. Shouldn't take too long. I'm hoping to get this done pretty quickly. So I figure I'll take you along while we do a really quick restring, make sure everything's looking good. You know, I kind of want to clean up that board a little bit, make sure nothing's wrong inside, and we'll make it looking good. So here we go. All right, we're gonna start taking this thing apart. So I'm just gonna start lowering these strings. I'm just gonna end up cutting them if they don't break. So. Alright, that's close enough. We'll cut those real quick. Get this going as fast as we can. Okay. Perfect. Here's my brush. We'll just brush that off real quick. Take off any dust. And we're looking good. Shouldn't need those for a while. You can see there, that board's a little bit dirty. Them frets are very much dirty. I want to look at board straightness, although it looks really straight. And I'm not even sure if this is adjustable. There's a hole, but it is really low. I'm not sure that that's truss rod adjustment. So I'm hoping that this board is fairly straight. We'll see if my scale here fits. It's pretty close. I'm not sure if that hole in there is actually an adjustment or not. Because there is a hole inside the neck block. It's really deep, but I honestly don't think that that's what that is, because it's really low down. So, if I were to guess, it would be something used in the attaching of this neck. And it's really not too bad, so we'll probably leave that as is. What I do want to check real quick is fret level. And it seems to be well within an acceptable range. Actually, I'm not getting any rocking at all, which is basically perfect. Yeah, really good. So we'll put those tools back. I'm going to need this and these and one of these. All right. So this whole board is very dirty. So So we're going to clean the whole thing up, frets and board, but it's usually easiest to start with the board. Or with the board. It's usually easiest to start with the frets. So I'm going to start my polishing here. And I may actually need to back up. This might not be enough to clean these off. It's usually easiest for me to be working kind of at an angle here. So I'm working away from myself. Yeah, that'll probably cut it. Yeah. I'm trying to see here if you can already see. Already see these are starting to shine more than they were. They were a little grimy. While I'm here, what I didn't really check before, and I can do it right now, is fret sprout. I didn't think it was bad. No, there's none. We're good. No fret sprout, so you're feeling comfortable when you play it. We'll just run through these polishing pads. I had to go to the craft store the other day, and I picked up some more of these. These are the old ones still, but I did pick up a new package of these. They last me about a year, I think, but you know, I can do about a year's worth of fret jobs on them. And they stay looking pretty good. And it was pretty funny because as I was checking out, the lady checking me out asked, you know, oh, what are you doing? You know, I'm just making conversation, and I said, oh, well, these are for guitar work. I do a lot of guitar work, and I like using these for polishing frets. And she was really surprised, like, oh, that's a genius idea. A lot of people come in and buy them for their Pinewood Derby cars because they polish up the nails the wheels run on really well. So, of course, it would make sense that you're trying to get as low friction as you can, and people like using these for that. Because I was like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, because these things are great for just sanding a really low friction surface. I really love them. And anyways, she said, that's a great idea. I'll have to remember that. My boys are playing guitar, and yeah. I'd have to agree. These are really great. These are already looking way better. These are pretty good. We might oil those tuners. It's been a while since I've shown doing that. Now this is pretty obviously a more affordable instrument here. I hate to call stuff cheap, but it's an affordable instrument, especially in music gear. Nothing's cheap in music gear. There's affordable. But you can usually tell that the fingerboard is unfinished. The bridge is finished. I don't know if you got a good look at that. So when we're coming through here next to clean up the board, that bridge is finished over, so I don't have to do anything with that, which is not uncommon in what I've seen from these classical guitars, classical style. That's that last polishing pad there. That's looking good. Got my fingers all nice and grimy. So what we'll do is we'll take a brand new razor blade now. Nice and sharp. And we will just scrape this board clean. This will remove any grime from when I started and any of that sanding dullness as I polished those frets. Let me get my brush back out. I have a hard time knowing what to put in these sections of video where I'm doing something for any extended period of time. I run out of things to talk about without repeating myself every time. So I end up just speeding through it. Alright, that's looking really good. I'll try and show that off a little bit here. It's a very clean board currently. And the last thing we'll do to that fretboard is some Be Good wood oil. I'm a huge fan of this stuff. This is just for conditioning that board, making sure it's going to last a long time, because it is raw wood. And I think this provides a good low friction feel on fretboards. I'm a big fan of it. Obviously this is food safe stuff. That's, I'm getting it all over my hands, and you're going to be touching this board with your fingers, so you'd want something relatively good. You're going to be touching. Obviously, you're not going to be touching this much, because there's quite a bit on here right now. And this stuff, a little bit goes a long way with this Be Good wood oil. I talked about those polishing pads last me about a year. This is the same bottle I've had since I've started at home, and I'm maybe a quarter of the way through it. Maybe a little bit more than that, but a little bit goes a long way, and this basically gets used on every instrument that's on my desk. So, it's good stuff. I really like it, but a little goes a long way. All right, last thing I'm doing here on this board is now wiping off the excess. You don't want to leave any of that oily junk sitting on the top. You want to get it kind of soaked in and then wipe off anything that's left. And that will give you that dark, rich color. Looks really good, feels really good. It's looking great. We're already a huge improvement for where we started right now. I'll show that to you. That dark kind of shine. I'm a big fan. Okay. I'm going to oil these tuners. I gotta go grab the oil to do it, just to make sure we're in good working order. And then we can move on. Alright, so I've got some just basic all-purpose oil here. I'm just gonna put a dab on these tuners. And then work that in and take off any excess. A lot like the oil on the top. We just want to make sure everything is running smoothly here. Especially if this hasn't been played in a while, doesn't hurt to oil it up. Alright, so then what we'll do, we'll just take a cloth here and dab off any excess. And we should be good to go there. I'm going to do a quick inspection on the internals and make sure that we are doing good. But I think I'm just going to put some strings on this. I just figured I'd bring you along for a little, you know, bread and butter, really. All right, so I think we're looking good for the most part. I did notice there's a spot right around here where we're missing some finish. I thought I'd just kind of touch that up. What I'm actually going to do here is rub this down with some lacquer thinner real quick. Make sure we don't have any loose chips or anything. Just kind of a thought I had. So yeah, there's just lacquer thinner on my brush here. All right. Now I'll actually put some instrument lacquer on my brush. I'm just gonna touch these spots up. Now I wouldn't be too worried about this wood, really. I'm just covering this up to reseal it, so we're not going to have any moisture issues ever. And that's about it. This is never going to be was never intended to be a perfect fix. This is a quick yeah, if you wanted any more than that, we'd be close to strip and finish. I'm not trying to cover it up by looks by any means, just trying to ensure longevity. And I think we're there. So I'll give that a couple seconds to dry. It shouldn't take too long before I can put strings on this, as long as I leave that alone. I will hold on to it for a little while I'm sure that it's, until I'm absolutely sure that it's dry. Not gonna go put it in its case or anything, but should be long enough for, yeah, just a little bit longer, and it should be good enough for me to kind of think about some strings, because I didn't really find anything else jumping out to me as needing fixed. So we'll do a quick inspection maybe on camera. All right, so just a quick inspection here. We checked the neck straightness. My thing here is too long to check neck angle, of course. But the only other thing that I was, really thinking about was belly bulge here, and it's got one, but not a crazy bad one. It's looking okay. Other than that, I think it's good. I've looked on the inside. I've tapped all around. I think we're looking good. So I'm gonna go grab some strings, and we will start stringing this thing up. All right, so I got some strings. I got the really, really light set of strings for this thing. I'm well aware that this is built like a classical guitar, which would be nylon strings, but I took bronze strings off of this. However, I'm fairly certain I took heavier bronze strings off of this. I am going to put these really light bronze strings on, the phosphor bronze ones, and it should be fine that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. These are the like the custom lights. I think the bottoms are a little heavier than the really light ones. The typical 11 gauge E string set. So this is kind of an in between, but it should be good for what we need here. I got to take a trip to the guitar store today. to go buy these strings, the local one. And I got talking to the guy that owns the place about repairs and that sort of thing. Just running into people and talking about guitars feels like all I do anymore. I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know why. I'll go ahead and get this thing strung up now. We've talked about strings. You've seen me do one. I'll go ahead and do the rest off camera. That way we're not sitting around here watching me string a guitar for the 11,000th time. Also because, like I said earlier, I've run out of things to talk about. So I'll catch you once I get this thing strung up, tuned a little. Well, I got this thing playing, and it's playing good. I didn't read the action on camera. I know that. It's low enough. I wasn't really worried about that too much. I was really just trying to clean this up. Tomorrow, I am going to wax this thing. I'm going to let this dry all the way overnight before I go waxing anything. But tomorrow I will wax this with that Renaissance wax. Really great stuff. Love it. So it's nice and cleaned up. But yeah, no, we threw some new strings on here. It plays great. It sounds pretty good. It's really easy to play. And honestly, I think the biggest winner here is for these smaller instruments. I really like these custom light gauge strings. They're the 11 to 52s. I think they have that slightly heavier bottom string. I'm a big fan of. These phosphor bronze could maybe be worn in a little bit. They're a little bright yet. So a couple days and I think this will be even better. But we're still stretching those strings, but it's looking really good. The only other thing I want to talk about was this guitar I asked for help with. It's still sitting over here. You can see it right here in the corner. I'm still working on it. I have had a couple emails about it, and I've got some ideas. They're coming up, but still working on it. So just wanted to thank you all for watching me do a bread and butter on this one. You know, real simple stuff that we do all the time, just getting it done pretty much real quick. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later.